Well, my little bunch of shadow maniacs, we're about to embark on a new lock. Oh no, not a new lock again. Yes, the biggest and most complicated lock we've made yet. So I'm going to give you a little bit of evolution and how we got to this point and what we're going to make. So we started with a key lock, fine. Then we put a padlock on it. Don't be a victim. Don't be a mouse. We'd be devastated if they broke into our sheds, wouldn't we? So now you get a lock. So we've padlock, and then we expanded to protect our padlock. So we made that a little bit more difficult. Protected our padlock. And by the way, we put an internal door on it. And then we grew a little bolder. We thought, I think this was the beginning of the secret lock. Started, before this box came, this started as just a switch on the wall. That was the first homemade alarm, that was, switch on the wall. Just a bolt in a wall. And then it evolved into this switch, which again, this is our beginning of our journey of going through brick walls. Yeah, so we came from there. We simply came through one lock, which then created our first sort of lock, our first sort of jammed the internal door with it. So this was our very first sort of attempt at a secret lock. And I'm not really sure what came first, this key, and this is where we started noticing the scaffolding tube. Then we did this sort of lock, didn't we? That we'd seen. Then we started making this one, and then we put a double cross on it, didn't we? We double crossed it by jamming it via this little little pin here. That was our, so we had a double lock, secret lock, yeah. Then we made our other spanner holder thing, another unique key. We put a thread on it, and that screws down, then pushes upwards, pushes the rod up through the top, and then this is when we started moving an up and down movement into a in and out movement, and then transferring our left to right movement into an up and down movement, which locked us into there. So we'll be incorporating this idea as well in our new lock. Yeah, go way more complicated, but this, can you see how we're evolving slowly? We went a bit further on the idea of a scaffolding tube, and we pushed it through the building. We just put a simple in and out switch, yeah, and we lock it. This is how we lock it. We get the mold grips, and we clamp the mold grips on it. It can't be operated or pulled from the other side because you lock it with this. Yeah. So that was our next sort of adventure into making homemade locks in another room. And this is how it is. It comes out the wall. How do you get the other side of a doorway? I'll show you in a minute. We failed. If you try and block the hinge itself, it's not very good. It's failed. And then this moves forward into the lock that is protected and is over there. Let me show you that next. It's a fairly simple mechanism. This just goes in and out, curls around, and this locks onto the door. And they can't lever it out because we've put that mold grips on it and locked it, haven't we? Yeah, so this is operated in another building, in another room, in another space, and you pull the lever backwards, it locks, and you push the lever out and it disengages. It's locked by the mold grips. Yeah. So we're going to use this hook idea as well. Anyway, so that gave us the idea of running a pole across the entrance of where you want to be. We did try and engage this gate. We put a secret little twisting handle here, didn't we? And you'd wind this in and out. but because it was on the hinge, and because this gate is so long, and you've got so much leverage on that, it just does damage. It doesn't hold it. So it didn't work on where the hinge is. It's got to work on where the door opens and closes. Then we came up with the idea of going all the way through a building. One comes under the table here, goes through and under the table and goes in there. So for this lock, we had a twisting movement on it. Yeah, to make the lock engage and disengage, we had to use a twisting movement on it, which was very easy to say, not very easy to do. The measurements and, of course, making it out of bits of scraps of whatever we've got, whatever we find. In turn creates this, which again, most locks are based on the door itself, aren't they? On the actual door. There's not many locks that are based not on the door. Good and solid, and a good solid keep. Good. We don't, we don't skimp on materials. We get the biggest, strongest things we can find. Had to find some way of disguising the lock outside. And that was a lot of fun, figuring it out and welding it up and making it fit. Then we're at the point of putting electrics on it now. Homemade alarm, homemade noise. So we've got a hidden switch there. We've got a little hidden switch here available to us, which is just under there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little push switch under there. So part of the decoration on the door, we can hide a switch within it. I hope this is just giving you ideas. I hope you're doing secret locks of your own. And we moved on to little hidden switches. Simple but effective. Little hidden switches. As you may or may not know, the new plan is to secure these gates. We've got chains, we've got bars on them. We want to make a secret lock. Yeah, let me open these gates to show you. And it has to be up high, so it's difficult to reach. This is where the difficult bit is going to be. We can cross a room going through the sky, but we're going to have to put some sort of scaffolding tube along here with a rod running in it. It's got to run across here, and it's got to have some sort of catching mechanism, But the difficult part is going to be engaging and re-engaging out of this wall. Let me just show you. First of all, the handle is going to be through not only one door, but two locked doors. The handle's got to be in this corner somewhere. It's got to be in this corner somewhere. Maybe we'll have to reduce the height of this. Maybe it'll work. We need it easy and convenient to work. But we'll have a hole, we'll have a scaffolding tube. We've done that plenty enough times. And we'll do a similar lever that's in the other garage, just throwing the lever in and out. It's an in and out job here. Yeah, down there. So that's not too daunting. It's quite a big gate, yeah. Got a lot of room to play with. We're going to have to come out of this building here. So my idea is put some sort of an eye on it. Yeah. So do you see this gate? We'll have to work around this gate so it disengages when it's open, and when it swings back in, that would be the hook, and something like this bolt would engage into it, and that would be the shaft. So this would be in its position. The gate will close on it, having this shaft engage on it, and then that will give us our in and out sort of thing. It's just making everything work again up on height. So it's going to be, we're probably going to have to make brackets on top of this to carry the tube. This will be the marrying point. So it'll come out that wall there, and then it will engage here. This will stick out. This will stick out there like that, and that will go backwards and forwards. And the gate, as it opens and shuts, it'll engage some sort of, not necessarily this bolt, but some sort of bolt like that in it. Yeah. As the gate begins to close, you see, as the gate closes, it will engage on that. Hold on. Find some way, as the gate closes, as it engages on the wall, it just engages onto that, and it'll shut like this. So I think it's doable. I think it's doable. The next problem will be up here. Hold on. And this is the other gate, and the two gates come together. Yeah, the two gates come together when they close, and we're gonna have to improvise some sort of hook and eye, some sort of engage these together, lock them with a bar. You just push the bar across. That's simple. A bar won't do. A bar won't do. This gate will have to grip this gate so it can't be opened. And again, steel will brace it and build it across and weld it. We'll have to strengthen this corner, come up from here, because we've extended that's the gate. We've extended the gate over, as we've done there. Extended, so we're going to have to extend the top of the gate up and across here, more substantial way. Here is the post they currently close onto. So come from over there, do something that engages and disengages, and come here and make something that actually grips that gate, almost like a hook. We're going to have to make some sort of hook mechanism, so it's not a case of just pushing them apart. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be a job and a half, this is. But I get so much pleasure out of making them. So as these are, you open one, it only rests against this post. I want them to lock both together. I don't want it to be as simple as locking one gate, because you can open the other. I want the two gates to lock themselves together, because, and here, let me show you this post if I want the space. That is the one gate. Yeah, and then the post is in the ground. Let's open this gate. Here are the two gates now fully open. Yet this post is here. Let's delete this post. The post is well buried in the ground inside another steel casing. So we've got steel box around it, and then this just simply slides in and out. Hold on, you lift it up. This just simply slides in and out. You know, every 6 months you have to grease it. The post's gone, and there's the one gate open, and there's the other gate open. So we're going to have to lock the gates together up above somewhere. So we're going to have to come out of here, some sort of system to connect to the gate, have the shaft come along the gate, and then make sure this physically grips the other gate here, so that both gates can be locked together. Wow, that's going to take weeks of thinking and planning and redoing, but I hope you enjoy it, and I hope I'm inspiring you to make, because you know, we're not victims, are we? We're not cowering in the corner, we're lions, because once your shed gets robbed, you're devastated. These poor workmen, when their vans get robbed, absolutely devastated. And insurance doesn't really cover the costs or the sentimental value of the stuff. So you just have to be proactive Don't be a victim, be a lion. Arr, arr. So let's crack on with that. So this is another idea. Look, you put this deep into the keep. Got plenty of room there. You pull this forward and then you screw that into there. And then sort of to help support, you put your couple of threads on there to hold it so it's not only barring the door, but now to grip the door, we just put that on it. It's as good as any lock that you'll find. And you don't have to carry a key with you. And of course it's locked from the outside. But if you could find some sort of system of putting a screw or that'll bring this up so that you couldn't withdraw it even if you wanted to. So let's say we've unscrewed it and it's ready to withdraw. But if you'd put some sort of system of maybe out there with a thread coming up against this, you just couldn't get the bar out of there. But to get it out, you have to push it backwards to give you the clearance to clear the nose to get it out. Yeah. So that's another idea of putting something in. In this case, it's threaded in there, but it don't matter. But you could put another other side of the door, over the side of the wall, whatever, and block that from going backwards. And then that would be, and of course the clip over the top of it holds it again, doesn't it? You could almost do it here, couldn't you? You could put that in there. You could bring this, hold on, wrong shaft. You could bring that in there. You could bring this forward. So you could then move that forward. I mean, in this case, we screw it in, but you wouldn't have to screw it in. And you could make some sort of bar going through the wall up and down that would slide down here, would stop this from going backwards. Yeah. Oh, the thinking and the planning and the, you know, doing with it is fantastic. So I think we've got the idea. There's enough room there to get this to go in and engage. So that'll go backwards and forwards. It's the hook. We're going to have to make some sort of a hook to lock the two gates together. We're going to have to make some sort of something here, and as you push it forwards, it curls around and grips, that sort of thing. We're going to have to make, I think that's what we're going to have to make first. That's, I think, is going to be the most difficult piece to make. So as you push the bar in, it makes this curl around somehow, something like that.